In a previous video, we talked about installing server core with DHCP. But now, let's go ahead and dive further. Windows Admin Center is a tool where you can actually use and leverage a web service to manage DHCP, Active Directory, DNS, VMs, and a whole lot more. But with Windows Server Core, there's no GUI. Let's go ahead and do it right now. What we have here is a basic install of Windows Server Core, and all we gotta do is just go into command line. So now we gotta just run these commands. So now we're gonna go ahead and install it. You see right here, this is the MSI path. This is the port that we're gonna use, and the certificate's gonna go ahead and get generated. And if there's any issues, it's gonna have a log file. Go ahead and hit enter, and we wait a few minutes. All right, now that we have Admin Center installed, you're gonna go ahead and log in, and you'll be met with the successfully installed version of whatever you've installed. But we're not done yet. First things first, there are a few things here that are called extensions that need to be updated. You can see them here that have a pending update. So kind of going through this list, you can start seeing what is available for managing. You can manage file shares, failover cluster, cluster manager, cluster creation, remote desktop, storage migration, virtual machines. A lot of these tools are very useful. They are actually a lot easier than using the actual MMC. And also, if you have other tools like a Dell, let's say you have a Dell Power Store, you can actually install these third-party tools. You can actually manage the server from Windows Admin Center. Now that we're on the dashboard, we're gonna go ahead and start adding servers. So go ahead and click add. Since we're adding servers, we're gonna go ahead and add the server. And we're just gonna go ahead and add the DC. Either we know the name, which is DC1, or if you don't know it, you can just search. So my domain controller or my DC is called dc.techbytes.com. Go ahead and hit add. And then I'm going to click in here, log in. Now you see the specs on the server. Obviously this is a VM, so it's pulling up from my computer. You can see the version of Windows, the total space, the use space, the memory, and the real-time CPU, memory, and network traffic. And here you can also see you have a lot of these other functions. You can even turn on and off the Windows Firewall. You can manage Windows Defender if you have it for the cloud, network, packet monitoring, PowerShell. You can add and remove features, and you can even control Windows updates from here. So we're gonna go ahead and click on Active Directory. And here you can go ahead and create a new user. You can create a group, you can create an OU, or you can actually browse your Active Directory just like the MMC. So we're gonna go ahead and click on users. And there should be here we go. The users that we created from the last script. We can go in here, we can disable, we can reset the password. We can go to properties and we can modify a few things. We can even add them to groups. Also, in here you got DNS. You can configure the DNS records, your A records and your C names. And I need to install the tools. All right, so once you load up DNS, you can go ahead and click on the domain. And you can create your own records if you need to. You got your obviously your host, your C names, and your MX. Wow, the MX records. You can also do reverse lookups. If you need to, you can create multiple zones, stubs, and secondaries. So basically, a lot of the simple things that you can do with DNS and MMC. And then here you can go ahead and click on Windows Updates, and you can actually manage all the servers from one pane instead of having to log in. But you can even also RDP into that server if you need to. So we'll just test that out really quick, and then we'll tell you if it doesn't work. But you can change it. That's the other benefit. You can actually make all these changes without having to log on to that server. So here you can set up your file shares, environmental variables. There we go. Allow remote connections. Disabling NLA. Don't do that. Save. But all right, let's try remoting again. And now we're logged into the first server core server that we built in that first video with the series. So now let's add our second server, our DHCP. You can search all your servers if you want just by hitting asterisk and then just selecting the server from there. I want to add 2 of them. I want to add the admin center as well. So now let's click on DHCP1, and now you see the same thing. You see the splash page, the total disk space, RAM, and since this one has a DHCP role, we can actually manage the DHCP server from here. And again, the role is not installed. We can go ahead and install it. And now we wait again.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
So now that the RSAT tools are installed, you can actually see the 2 scopes that we built for the server, scope 0 and scope 1. And you can see the exclusions, reservations, and leases, how many IP addresses are in use, how many are available. You can do exclusion ranges, you can do reservations, and you can see all the leases that are going on. You can even edit it, change the leases, and you can even delete or deactivate it. Or you can actually create a new scope. What you can also do is add computers to this. So let's go ahead and add our Windows 11 desktop to this. So from here you can actually manage the computers themselves if you need to do Windows Firewall, file sharing, the event viewer, packet monitoring. So for the desktops, you can also take a look at the apps and features and turn on features remotely without having to log in or do have any other tools to do like your remote management. You can actually do it from within Windows Admin Center. So from here you can see that we have Ubuntu here, which is probably the Windows subsystem for Linux, OneDrive, Teams, and you can actually remove them if you need to, or if there's a feature that you need to turn on, you can actually turn it on from here. And as well with the servers, you have access to PowerShell and remote desktop as well. Now, Windows Admin Center has a lot of benefits, a lot of good little functionality when it's on a web service. However, there are a few downsides. Some of the advanced features from within DHCP, DNS, Active Directory, they're not available from within Windows Admin Center. So we would have to really temper our expectations to what Windows Admin Center really is. It's just a tool to do very simple administrative work. It's really useful for like help desk that they need to do manage a user's username, passwords, password changes, maybe even some of the titles or their names. Sometimes DNS will be one that we can actually do small changes to, and DHCP just small management. It also does have a benefit of having PowerShell and remote desktop in just one single pane of glass. But again, it's not a full management suite that you can get from other third parties, and most of them are paid. But if you actually roll this out, it's a really good tool. It has a lot of benefits, a lot of use, especially if you're really Windows based heavy. All your servers are Windows and some of your desktops as well. You can actually use this tool, and having it on Windows Admin Center gives you a much smaller footprint. This VM only is running, 1 CPU and 1 gig of RAM, and it was running perfectly fine, except for the hard drive. But you can put this on a VM running Windows Server Core. Follow the instructions, which I'll have them down in the description, and you can roll it out at any moment. Just play with your heart's content. Hope you actually got some good information from this video. I'm gonna try to post some more videos regarding this soon. I got some really exciting stuff coming down the pipeline, so if you want to go ahead and chat about some of the Windows Server stuff or some of the stuff that I've been talking about live on the live stream, you can see me on Twitch, on YouTube every Tuesday at 8:30. We'll be talking about Linux, Docker, Windows, sysadmin, a life in IT, a life in just PowerShell or Bash or what have you, anything that's IT related, you can go ahead and join me on the stream. Links will be down in the description. And as always, have a good day.